Let's look at another piece of scripture now in which we will be expanding our knowledge a bit from the working with the indicative mood to another one of the verb moods, the subjunctive mood. So let's look at Matthew 6, verse 31. As we look at this text, what have I told you is the first thing we try to find? The first thing we try to find is a verb. As you look at these words in this first clause here, is there anything that looks like a verb to you? Me un meramnesete legontes. Well, perhaps legontes does because you've learned the word lego in your vocabulary, but I'm going to tell you that that's a participle, so that's not the word we want. Look at the word in front of it here, meramnesete. That also looks like a verb, doesn't it? Because you see the te ending on the end of the verb. Let's take a closer look then at this verb. If I tell you that the lexical entry of this verb is meramnao, you could look this up in a dictionary and it would tell you that the verb means I am anxious or I worry in a negative sense. It also has a positive connotation too in I am concerned about. But we're going to be concentrating here on the negative connotation, I am anxious or I worry. Now the verb that we have in our text is spelled like this, meramnesete. After we identify our lexical entry, if we're able to do that, and I've already given it to you here, what's the next thing we ask of a verb? Is there an augment? Well, is there an augment in front of this verb, an epsilon? No, there's not. Okay. Let's go to the back part of the verb and identify the ending te. What person and number is that ending? All right, that's a second person plural ending, isn't it? Is it an active ending or is it a middle passive ending? Well, you've already learned your indicative ending, so you know that it is an active ending. We look in front of this ending and we see a connecting vowel that is a long connecting vowel. If it were a short connecting vowel, it would be the vowel epsilon. But here it's a long connecting vowel. Now we're leaving the mood of indicative and we're entering into the mood called subjunctive. In the subjunctive, the connecting vowels are always long. So this long connecting vowel tells me that I am working with the subjunctive. And I'll simply put an S there for subjunctive. In the subjunctive mood, there are only two tenses, either the present tense or the aorist tense. That makes it a lot simpler than the indicative. The indicative had all 6 tenses. But in the subjunctive, we either have the present or the aorist. Now we look in front of this connecting vowel and we see a sigma tense indicator. Of the two tenses, the present tense or the aorist tense, which one would have a sigma tense indicator? Sure, the aorist does. Now we have parsed this verb, aorist, active, subjunctive, second person, plural. At this point, we would want to know what is the syntactical function of the subjunctive mood in this context.